So in this video, we're going to look at 5 design flaws with this camera. This is the Insta360 One R. Just before we get started, I want to make it clear that I think this is a good camera. I find it really useful, really fun, and it produces a type of video that none of my other cameras produce. However, there are a few things that I think could be improved and a few things that I think that you should know about before you purchase this camera. So my first problem with the camera is related to the SD card slot and charging port on the side of the camera. You have to have it in this case for the selfie stick or the tripod mount on the bottom here, and they've given you a nice sort of window on the side so you can access the SD card slot and the charging port. So I can open that and get to it. It's a little bit fiddly. So now I've done that, I've done whatever I need to do, and now I need to put this little bit back into the camera to make the camera waterproof, you know, dustproof and all those sorts of things. So I'm gonna try and do that, and it's incredibly fiddly. You can't get it back in. Let's say you might be like, okay, cool, it's because of this little window, I can take it out of the case. So I tried to take it out of the case, and I can't take it out of the case because the thing's open now and it's stuck. I have to either break that or get it back in. So you don't really have much of a choice, you just gotta sit here. Anyone with this camera will surely have faced this problem. I finally got it back in, so we can move on to the next one. Anyone who knows 360 cameras will know that the lenses are extremely vulnerable. That's not a design flaw, that's just a feature of 360 cameras. They're vulnerable because the actual lens needs to protrude from the body of the camera in such a way so that you can get a full sphere. So if this falls, it's going to hit the lenses. Great thing is Insta360 gave us this little slide-on cover, which I was really pleased with until I started using it. We're going to do a little magic trick. You ready? I'm going to put it in the camera bag, and it's come off. It's kind of useless because what happens is you put it in your camera bag and it moves around and it can just slide off. See, I'm putting a little bit of pressure on there to catch it, but it doesn't take much for this to come off. It gives you a false sense of security because you think it's nice and safe when actually it can just slide off. There are the clips for the other lens guard, so they could easily have made a little cover for it that clips on. And I just leave this in a pocket on its own. And to be honest, I'm just waiting for the day that the lenses get scratches on them, which completely ruins any 360 camera. But you can get these lens guards, and that leads me on to number 3. Here are the lens guards. I'm going to so we discovered that the other cover is not a great way of protecting the lenses, but these lens guards, these are replaceable and not too expensive. However, when you put the lens guards on, you can't access every bit or see every bit of the screen. So you're trying to get to the menu and you're trying to tap on the particular bits and you can't actually get to them because the lens guard's in the way. I don't access the menu system that much, but for a camera that is for the most part really well designed, I see that as a massive oversight. Either make the lens guards smaller or make it so that the menu system has nothing on the left-hand side of it so that you can access it at all times. Before we go on to the next one, hit the comments and let me know whether you agree with me, disagree with me, or maybe you found some other problems that you think are worth mentioning. I think it's a brilliant camera and I really like discussing it with the community. So the lens guards themselves are the next design flaw with this camera. I'm just going to pull them off. You know, if there's one thing that all photographers understand is a nightmare, and that's dust, specks of dust on your lens, particularly on a 360 camera, because when you're moving it around, actually you're moving the screen, and when you've got specks of dust on a 360 camera, it removes the illusion of looking all the way around because you can see this speck of dust in the same spot every time. But what these lens guards have is they have the front layer and then they have the back layer. And there's almost a gap between the lens itself and the plastic plate that goes around the camera, which means I'm going to try and illustrate it here by putting a plectrum in. Because I don't use my lens guards all the time now, there's dust in that part and it's going to be really, really difficult for me to get that out. So, big problem for me there. And another reason why I'm not going to use these lens guards. Now the other issue I have is with the selfie stick. It's not so much a functional design flaw of the selfie stick, because this works really well, there's no problems with it as a selfie stick. It's just that the camera is so small and each component of the camera is so small that by comparison, the stick is huge. And you can't really use the camera without the stick. When you're putting it in a bag, you know, I can't fit this in my camera bag because there is no slot big enough for that with the camera on the end. I could probably go on the internet and buy a smaller one, I'm sure. I just think that it is too big. Surely there is a way of making a selfie stick that is that long, that has a smaller handle on it. Surely we can do that. And a quick side note, this camera actually has quite a serious problem. It's a moisture problem inside the module. That's not one of the design flaws, that's a fault with this particular camera. Some people's have been faulty, some people's haven't. If you want to hear more about that, I've got some other videos on my channel that you can take a look at. I'll link one up the top there. So thanks very much for watching the video. If you found it useful, hit the like button. If you want to see more things like this, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching the video. Take care. If you want to learn more about photography and the techniques and technology around it, check out some of the other videos on the screen right now. And if you're enjoying it, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I really do appreciate it.